Good morning. So here we are, November the 1st, 2020. Um, yeah, all I can say is here we are. Here we are, friends, on the 11th month of the craziest year. Actually, I've probably had crazier in different ways. But the first of the month is always a reflection time for me. And it's a way that really grounds me. The 5 year plans, friends, I'm just going to throw it out there. They are really hard for me to digest and therefore make actions and therefore make moves. So I had my son 5 years ago. He turned 5 in October. And the person that I was then and the person that I am now is completely different. It's not really, but it's my lifestyle is incredibly different. The skills that I use, what I thought I was capable of, actually doesn't look in a, how would I describe it? It doesn't fit into the kind of the sexy bucket list type thing. Like, I am more confident on a day-to-day basis. It's more like I am way more resilient, or I can cope much better on little sleep than I thought, or I can actually really dig deep when I need to, or I can have more joy in my life. These sorts of little incremental moments are really worth noting. So today it's 30 days, November. I am doing a challenge over on Instagram. So if you haven't hopped on over there, I would love you to. I was thinking actually what I needed. This is actually nothing to do with business. How many times can I say actually? Movember, yes, not to be, there's no Movember kind of, I'm not bearding up for this. I really need to move is my overall thing that keeps dropping into me. Move, Raby, move your body. I'm saying this because actually at this time of year, I sometimes don't want to, because the clocks have changed here in the UK. It's a bit colder, it's a bit darker. Sometimes when the sun's out, it's that beautiful autumn moment, but when it's not, it just looks grey and gloomy and miserable outside. But if I don't move, if I don't regularly exercise, if I don't regularly have that headspace, I was actually saying this to Matty the other day, that I don't run or I don't move specifically for like my body. I often do it for my head. That's the real thing. That's the thing that needs it most. And it's one that unfortunately I've come to the conclusion is a non-negotiable for me. I would love to be like, oh, well, I was doing this and then I forgot about it for 6 months. I can't afford not to. With everything that's going on, with all the people and the things and the somethings that need me, want me, and also the person that I want to be, I'm not a victim in any of this. The person that I want to be, how I want to show up in the world, what I want to achieve, I have to prioritize looking after myself. It's a non-negotiable. So I want you to think a little bit more about what you want to gain in November, and you're more than welcome to come and join in this Movember challenge. It's 20 minutes per day moving, as in walking or running, and you can do this in a flexible way. So ideally, I'm not saying ideally really, but as a baseline, we're working on the fact that let's have some kind of strategy and then we can be flexible from there. So the strategy that I'm suggesting is 20 minutes per day. 20 minutes per day, getting outside ideally, but if not, go in your garage, go in your living room, run up and down your stairs, whatever it might be. 20 minutes of movement. And you can make that work for you. So you can do 20 minutes per day, or you can batch them and do them at the weekend, depending on what you need to do. But on day one, I was really thinking and really setting the challenge up and asking people what they want to gain. And I come back to this from a place of inviting you to be specific. So sometimes we can just say, I want to be less overwhelmed, or I want to have more time for me, or I want to feel more like me, or I want more clients, or I just want to know that my business is going in the right direction, or I want to earn more money. And I always work on the basis that if you can't write it on a shopping list, if it's not as straightforward as a shopping list, you need to go deeper. So you wouldn't necessarily go to a supermarket and go, I need a bit more happiness and I need a bit more clarity. I mean, I'm sure there's like some wizard tea that you can get involved in. But actually, the more specific that you can get, especially if you were writing the to-do list for somebody else, the shopping list for somebody else, if I'm asking Matt to buy, a particular brand of chopped tomatoes for this recipe because I want them to be... I'm so 38. I want them to have an Italian fusion of basil in there with garlic. I'm going to send the things. And sometimes if I'm going a bit extra, I'm going to send him a picture. Like, this is the thing. This is the brand you need to look for. So I want you to do that in terms of your November goals. What does it look like? Get into the nitty gritty of it. I'm going to come back to money as well, because money is a really good, measurable, tangible goal that you can work with. So Oscar and I last night, who's my 5-year-old, were watching The Cube, and because his concentration is such, and because late nights are quite a new thing, one that I'm agreeing to. Late nights have always been a bit, he was that baby who was 3 months awake at 10:30, like, hi guys, where we going? What we doing? And it's like, we're not going anywhere, mate. We want you to go to bed. He was kind of like the drunk friend that you'd ended up with, who wasn't actually somebody you knew very well, who just would not go to bed. And we all have those, don't we? Sometimes where it's like, you just need to go to bed and you're going to feel better. Anyway, back to what I was saying, talking about The Cube. So if you've seen it this week, I won't spoil it too much for you. Or if you want to just rewind the next minute, then rewind, fast forward the next minute, you can do that. Stacey Dooley and Kevin from Strictly Come Dancing had to do a series of things. And there was one cube activity where they had to, for £25,000, catch 4 balls. All they had to do, catch 4 balls, but in the cube. And Philip Schofield kept saying this again and again, and I really let it sit within my body. 4 balls for £25,000. Catch 4 balls for £25,000. Now, if you can imagine what £25,000 looks like, and you can do this, I don't know, in £10 notes or in bundles of 1,000, or what 25,000 £1 coins look like, to be able to achieve that in a matter of 45 seconds or whatever, less than that, that seems insane. But the way that Philip Schofield was just saying it, 4 balls, £25,000. So I'm showing that to you because I know for me, I'm going for a really brilliant money goal. I'm so excited about it. Also, I'm 39 next week and I have something about November. November is always a great month for me. It really gives me clarity. It really gives me a bit of a kick up the bum if I need it as well. But that's what I'm going to say to you today. 4 balls, £25,000, and they got it. They got the £25,000. They gave that money to Refuge. What an incredible situation. The reason I'm sharing that story with you is to show you possibility. I watched the news last night. I'm sure you did. We know what's going on in the world. But you can make a decision. How are you going to choose to use your energy? What are you going to focus on? Are you going to refresh Twitter every single day, again and again and again? Or are you going to choose again? Are you going to choose to do something different? I know what I need to do in order to connect to what I want and feel and have and be and do and all of the rest of it by November the 30th. So take some time today. Feel free to join me. I'm about to put on my trainers, by the way, to do my 20 minutes this morning. It's a bit of a gloomy day. It's a bit kind of drizzly and miserable, but I'm doing it. It's going to make me feel so much better, and it will you as well. So it doesn't have to be running. It doesn't have to be fast, but just take that space. I did the maths as well on today's post. 20 minutes per day, times 30, the number of days in November, 600 minutes, which is the equivalent of 10 hours. Imagine what you could do, create, heal, declutter, process, implement with 600 more minutes of headspace alone. Imagine that. And allow yourself to think that's possible for you, because it is. Because why else, if I didn't think it was possible for you, why else would I be saying this at 7:47 on a Sunday morning? I feel that passionate about it. Please don't just sort of push it to the side like you would, like once you finished your dinner, like, right, okay, I've finished with that, and breathe. No. Take this as your sign. If you've been looking for a sign, basically, here it is. I'm waving. Hello, hello. Come and play. Come and play. So what do you want to gain in November? Get really specific, really clear, and then look at those possibilities. How could you do that thing? How could you flip it on its side? That Rubik's Cube. Sometimes you just need to pass it to your friend, your member of family at Christmas, and then they suddenly can unlock something and you're like, oh, but I've been looking at that for the last 15 minutes and I haven't been able to make any progress. Think about how you can mix stuff up in your own development, in the way that you're working. I'm going to breathe now. I'm going to put on my trainers. Come and join me. Tag me over on Instagram at Nikki Raby. And let's make some moves in Movember. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow. Lots of love.